Welcome all to the Weekly Outlook. Been here from EWPRO. Getting straight into the Weekly Outlook, starting with the DXY on the daily. There's two scenarios here. Nothing's changed for the last few weeks. This is either the C down and that's complete there. It did break the ending point of wave A, or we get something more complex and we get like an A, and we get a B in here. So we get an A, B, C, and then we get an A, B, C as a larger correction before we get a little bit more downside. So, like I've been mentioning for the last few weeks, there is real no direction on the daily. It can go either way. On the H4, we do have 3 up here now. Got this like A, B, and we're getting this C up. It's got nowhere near the 100 fib yet, so it is looking a little bit bullish in here to give us another one up. So you may get a scalp next week just in here, just up to that 100 fib. And if you're lucky, it keeps on going. But yeah, I'd be definitely looking to take half off at that 100 fib. AU on the daily. We got a bear hidden here, like I mentioned. We got a bear hidden there, and we're starting to get a very deep pullback to this move here. So again, there's real no direction. It can go either way. So we're really looking at the lower time frames to look for the direction and trade. It's more on the lower time frame, but we got like a WXY, X2, and a Z down. We'll just go down to the H1. So ideally, after we get the 5 down, I'd like to see a nice impulse up and a correction before I look for the buy. Price action hadn't done that. It's very messy down the bottom here still. So I'm not really looking at a reversal after these 5 down. So it is going to be very difficult to trade until we get something decent, to a decent setup to actually trade. You pretty much have to stay out of it. GU, again, this may be the end of wave C for that, like A, B, C, but like I've been mentioning for the last, month or so, this is looking very bullish up the top here. If we go down to the H4, take this off. But on the H4, we got the 5 up. We got that like W, X, Y, X2, and that Z up. Then we've got this larger correction. That's pretty much played out how I was looking at it, like a W, X, Y, X2, and a Z down. We got that Z down. We lost all the bullish divergence, so with that Z down, that was a problem. I mean, it does look, like I said on the daily, it does look very corrective, all this. So, I mean, if you're going to buy this, like a little flag in here, you're really only looking for an A, B, C. So you'd have to get it to break even. If you're lucky, it takes off for you, but at this stage, we may just get like 1, 2, 3 up here and then get another one down. So if you're looking to buy, you'd just be looking for that C up, get it to break even and even take half off, and then just let the rest run. And like I said, you may get lucky and it takes off for you. But at this stage, I wouldn't be surprised if we get another one down. Like we get another one up here and we get A, B, C, and then we get another lower low. EU on the daily. Still looking at this flat in here. You know, we're looking at this A, B. Is that the end of wave C like the others? Or is it still going to keep on going? We do have a larger correction forming in there. I'm still looking at that correction. So we got this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. And we're sort of starting to get this larger correction. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do get more upside. But yeah, we really need a nice setup. That's the problem. It's not giving us a nice setup to buy. I was just looking for an A, B, C down here. It turned into quite a few different waves. But again, you know, when it's all said and done, we lost the bullish divergence with this move down here. And this is looking rather corrective. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get another one down. So if you are looking for the buy, just you'll have to be a little bit careful. NU, very similar to AU. You know, is this the end of the wave C? You know, well, I'm not looking at it as the end of wave C, or else it'd be a contracting flat and we fall over from here. So I am still looking for more upside. There is no bull hidden on this time frame. The H4 played out pretty much how we've been looking at it over the last few months. We've got that W, X, Y, X2 and a Z up. And we got the W, X, Y, X2 and we got that Z down. Now we're starting to get that impulse up. So this is looking a lot better to trade than a lot of the other pairs. So on the H1, it's already gone, you know. But yeah, we're looking at a WX. We're in a wave Y. You'd be waiting for the X2, and then you trade that wave Z up. GY. So we're looking at that WXY, X2, and a Z up. Sorry, we got the internal 5 up in here. So we're looking at that WXY. Well, we're waiting for an X2 in here, but this has gone up and broken that top. And even last week I said it was looking bullish. So on the H4, it's pretty much going up to the targets we were setting for that WXY, X2, and we're looking for that wave Z up to the 123.6 and the 161.8, that second target. You may still be able to get in on this. You'd be waiting for a correction. You'd be looking for the X2, like so we get a WXY, X2, and you'd be looking to trade that wave Z up. So really the safest way is to wait for the correction on the H1 and then look for your setups to buy. UY, like I've been mentioning for a while now, I wouldn't be surprised if that goes up, breaks the top. We do have that bull hidden there. And I'd still be looking at all this as a B wave. Then we get an A, a B, get a C down as a running or expanding flat, more than likely. And then more upside. I dare say this top here is going to be broken. That's why I'm looking for a running or expanding flat. There was setups on this, you know, to buy. There's been quite a few. we're looking at this last week to give us more upside. It's done that now, and it's giving us bearish divergence. So even on the H1, we're getting bearish divergence. So yeah, it's not the best to trade at this stage. Now, you would have been looking to trade this or get in down here. To get in now with a bearish divergence is quite risky. USD CAD, I mean, this, well, sort of, we've just been looking at this last piece because what I was looking at was like a WXY, X2, a Z up. We never got that Z up to go up and break that top. It's looking like a larger correction in here, like I've been mentioning for months now. I'm still looking at that. So if we go over it quickly again, we got 5 up here and then an A wave and then like an A, B, C in here for the B wave, and then we got that A, B, C. This wave C went a lot further than we thought. Well, than I thought. But I've always been looking at this as an expanding flat, or a correction. So now we're looking at that A, B, C. Like I mentioned last week, though, we may get, and I've still got the arrows on here, we may get like one up here and then another one down. So we get an A, B, C as your flat, and then you get an A, B, C. You're pretty much looking for buys. You can really, I mean, it's difficult because the top has been broken. We have a look here. This is the top over here, not over here. So we do have that bearish divergence, of course. So, but this is still looking rather bullish. You could give it another go, keeping tight stops. Yeah, you'd really have to be careful here because this may be like, we got like 3 down in here. So it may be an A, B, C here for a flat, and then you get another one down. But yeah, if you do get a buy set up, you definitely could look for a buy. I'd be looking for a little bit more than what we actually got out of this wave C up, you know. I dare say there's a little bit more up in it. So yeah, I'd be more bullish than bearish at this stage. The Swissy on the daily, yeah, this has been looking good. We had that bullish divergence. We got that A, B, C, bounced off the trend line. And there has been a couple of buys in this. We have had a few different buy setups for this. Now we're starting to get bearish divergence on the H4. I'll remove that. So now it's going to be difficult, you know. You pretty much missed the buys. I was showing this in the group. So I'm looking at, excuse me. If we just go back here for a sec, you know, this is looking very choppy. It's looking very choppy. So I'm sort of thinking this is going to be a complex correction before we get more downside. If I just go over it quickly, we got like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'll be looking for a 1, a 2, and a 3 up in here, or we may get 5 for a 3, 3, 5 complex correction. So I'm looking at a 3, 3, 3 or a 3, 3, 5 complex correction in here. Reason being is, you know, we're breaking all the Elliott wave rules for a impulse, you know, or a motive structure. You know, like this, if we're looking at this as a WXY, well, 1, 2, 3, will wave 4 come into the territory of wave 2? So That's why I'm looking at it as a complex correction, and then more than likely we get more downside. So just in here, you know, it's starting to be choppy. If I just zoom in a little bit, it's starting to become choppy in here. So I definitely wouldn't be buying. You'd have to wait for some sort of an A, B, you get a C down, and then a bullish setup on the lower time frames. Then you could look for a C up, and you'd be looking at some sort of a flat in here. That's what I'd be waiting for. I'd be waiting for one down in here and then looking for the buy, or you could go right down onto the real lower time frames and look for a sell. We're getting bearish divergence, so you can look for a sell. But just be mindful, if you are looking for a sell, it may just turn into like an A, B, C and give you another one up. EG on the daily. This still hasn't broken the low. Really, excuse me, I'm just waiting for this to break that low. We really got to break those lows. I'm looking at it like an A, a B, and an extended wave C. We got that like W, X, Y, X2, and we're looking for that Z down. Really like to see this go and break these lows, and then we can start to load up. And until that happens, I would stay out of it. It's too risky to buy. We sort of got a larger correction down in here. We had a bear hidden here. It's gone down. I'd have to check to see if it broke the low, but it got very close to breaking the low. Didn't quite break the low, so we're getting a correction in here. We're getting a larger correction in here. I wouldn't even look for the sell. Again, I'd be looking for the buy. Waiting for these lows here to be broken, and then any buy setup you get, you look for the buy. WTI on the daily. There's a couple of scenarios here, like I've been mentioning. We got a low there. We got an A. I'm looking at this as an A, and then this is a B, and we get a C down in here. So we get an A, B, C, and then we get an A, B, C. That's the way I'm sort of looking at this now, because this is rather motive on the lower time frame. So if we just go over it quickly, I mean, the 5 down played out beautifully. Like down here, we got that W, X, Y, X2, and that Z down. Then we got that A, B, C. We got that C up. Last week I said you have to be careful if you're going to sell, because we have this bull hidden here. Now this bull hidden looks like it's going to play out, so we're getting some sort of W, X, Y, X2, and we get a Z up. Pretty much playing out exactly how I said last week. So if you're not in it now, you really have to, if you're not in it already, you really have to wait for a correction or something, to a correction before you can buy. So yeah, and you just be looking to break that top. So whether it's going to give you the risk reward or not, you'll have to determine before you take the trade. Gold. We're looking at this last section over here. I mean, this was looking very bullish. This was looking very bullish, and I was looking for like an A, B, C up in here, and then like an A, B, C to finish off this B wave, and then an A, B, C. Was looking very bullish in here. It didn't play out. It started to go, and then it turned around. Excuse me. So it started to go in here, but that was it. So I'm looking at more. So I'd be looking for some sort of a correction, like an A. I'll be looking at this as a B wave. So whether you look at all this as an A, a B, and you get a C down here, But this is sort of the choppiest wave, so I'm looking at that as the B wave now. So yeah, it's looking very much bearish in here for more downside. You got to remember on this as well, we're right at the top of the market. You know, we got that wave Z up on the weekly. Got that WXY X2 Z up, breaking the top. We got all the bearish divergence. So if you're buying up here, it's going to be risky, you know. But yeah, there is a sell setup. There was. We got the 5 up, and then I was looking for the sell here. You can see I've still got that on. I should have removed it. But we got the 5 up in here. It was on the lower time frame. This is pretty much typical of what we do. I'm not going to go over exactly what we do, but we got an impulse down correction. We'll be looking for to break this low. This may turn more complex as well, and we get it like an A. All this is a B, and then we get a C up before we go. That's more than likely the case because we did get the 5 up in here, and we're sort of getting choppy movement in here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a C up, like as an A, B, C, and then we get more downside A, B, C. Silver, I'm looking for more upside on this as well, and it just didn't go. I still got the drawing on here. I was looking for a little bit more upside in here. We did get the upside, but you know, not as much as what I would have liked. It didn't get anywhere near that 100 fib. But yeah, I mean, this is more of a buy. On the lower time frames, this is more of a buy. And more than likely, this is just a correction. So we get an a B, and a C up, just breaking that top before we get another one down. We have a bear hidden here. That's why I'm looking at a flat. Well, a regular flat in here before we get another one down. Yeah. Bitcoin. So we did get a buy in this, but like I've been mentioning for ages and ages, on the daily we got that impulse up. We're really waiting for a correction before you can buy. There was a buy set up on the lower time frames that we could have looked for, and it's actually gone further than I thought it would. I was just looking for a correction, like looking at this as the impulse, and we just get an A, B, and a C up in here. It's turn motive. So you definitely can look for a W, X, Y, X2, and a Z up. So you'd be waiting for that X2 and then looking for your entry for that wave Z up. If you're not in it now, you have to wait for that correction. You know, very difficult if you don't. This was a pretty difficult. We were looking to buy this just for a C up. It's gone further. You really, H1 is the same. You really got to wait for something to buy. Whether that's, you know, you may get some sort of a hidden divergence in here, you know, or whatever it is. You could. I'd be more interested in waiting for that H4, waiting for, because you should, if you're trading this pair, you should be already in it and still in it. I mean, you'd be out of half at the 100 pip, but you know, you'd still be in half your trade. So you really have to wait for that X2 and then trade that Z up. If you don't wait for it, you just get cut to pieces in a correction, more than likely. S&P, this has just kept on going. You know, I can't buy at tops. You know, that's just me. You know, if we look at the, well, I think I've shown you this before, but the monthly chart, we're in a massive, you know, you can see what I'm looking here on the monthly chart. We're still in this wave 3. Then I'll be looking for the wave 4 and then the wave 5 and then an A, B, C, you know. I mean, I've had this count on here for, years. So we're right at the top. You know, it's very risky to be buying at a top. You know, it can fall over at any time. But yeah, I mean, this played out exactly how we're looking. We're looking for a WXY, X2, and that Z up. The problem is we've lost the bearish divergence here in this wave Z up. So I'm just looking for a larger correction before we get more upside. You virtually have to wait for that correction before you look for buy, unless you're just scalping on the lower time frames or something like that. So we did have a few opportunities to get in this. This was the first one here. We were looking for another correction in here as well. So we look at the H1, excuse me, the H1, we got that WXY, X2, and we're looking at that Z up. Yeah, you can really only look for sells. You have to be very careful with the sells as well. There's no sell set up on it. So, but yeah, I'd be looking for a sell. So I'd be going down to the lower time frames, waiting for an impulse and a correction and looking to sell. It may just turn into an ABC or it may turn motive, you know. So yeah. A U200. This has played out beautifully, you know. It's still not up to our target, that 100 fib. But yeah, you know, we got that A, B, C, little bit more upside and she'll be just about cooked and over. The H, 4 has played out exactly how we're looking at it, you know. Ball hidden, we're looking for that 5th up. It's hit the first target. The second target is at 161.8. Again, you know, you'd be already in this to buy it now after it's broken the top in a 5th wave and bearish divergence. You know, it's getting too risky to trade it. So pretty much, even last week I said you pretty much have to stay out of this now until it's over. You could actually look for a sell. I'd be looking at some sort of a like an A, B, C in here, perhaps, and an A, B, C before you get A, B, C. But I'd be looking at this as correction. This is our impulse. Look at this as a correction. And then get another one down. So I would actually be looking for a sell on this. I'll just put a line on it. So I'd be looking for something like this. I mean, this is very bullish at the moment. You know, this is you know, you could buy this in itself. It is looking bullish. This may even turn into like an A, B, C here. Just go and break that top, and then you get an A, B, C as a running or expanding flat too. If you got something like that, and then you could, after the correction, you could look for a buy then, but you'd have to wait for a larger correction. At this stage, you know, you're either staying out of it or looking for a sell, and there is no sell set up on it. Like I said, it's very much bullish still. UCAD, a complete mess, you know, just sideways. There's nothing you can do in this. You'll just get cut to pieces. We were looking at that A, B, C here, and then an A, B, C. That failed. As soon as that failed, we didn't get the C up to get anywhere near that 100 fib. As soon as that failed, you pretty much have to stay out of this, because this can keep on just, you know, going in this range here for a very long time. You know, just get something like this, you know, for a very long time before you get like an A, B, C, you know. I would be staying out of it. There's really nothing on it. extremely risky to trade. You're virtually gambling if you're trading this. I mean, there's really nothing. You'd be looking at a sell at this stage for a bear hidden. So you got an impulse down here. If you got a correction in here, you'd be looking for at least an A, B, C. I dare say it would turn motive, and you get 5 down, and you get an A, B, C. So yeah, I'd be looking for a bearish setup on the lower time frames. Just in here, back to probably get a correction back to the 50 fib or wherever, the 50 fib of this move here. So I'd be just looking for a correction in here. If it looks corrective, well, I'd be looking for the sell. Lastly, onto the DAX. This has broken the top. So, I mean, this sort of played out how we've been looking at it on the higher time frames. It wasn't the best. I was looking for more in here for that wave C down there for like the A, B, C. It cut it short, but then we had that big impulse here, and since we got that impulse, we were waiting for a correction. We had to wait for that correction. It never got anywhere near the 50 fib, but we were looking for these corrections in here. In here, I believe we're looking for that like W, X, Y, X2, and a Z down. We had that bear hidden in there, and we got another one down. When we got that Z down in here, we lost all the bullish divergence, so it became risky. Now it's broken this top here, so overall we have the bearish divergence. So again, if you're going to try and buy up here, I would think twice about it. So I hope you enjoyed the weekly outlook. If you did, please hit the like button, share and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything to hit the like button. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.